So, hi everyone. In our last presentation session, we stopped with the set command and shift command. I explained how we can make use of set command in order to set your positional parameters. So, set command was basically used in order to set your position parameters. Then we saw shift command. Shift command was mainly used in order to shift your positional parameters to the left. So we saw how the positional parameter $2 became $1, $3 became $2. Suppose if you want to shift the positional parameter by two positions, then you can make use of the shift command followed by the number 2. In this case, the positional parameters will get shifted twice to the left. There was some problem with the set command, that is with the hyphen. So we overcome that particular problem by including double hyphen just after the set command. So in this particular presentation session, we shall try to cover the remaining two topics. So once we cover up those remaining two topics, then we start with some sample shell programs. So there are many shell programs. So we shall try to go through all of them in a greater detail. So what are all the things we have learned till this point in this particular chapter? Those all things will get implemented in your shell programs. So first, the year document. So this is a symbol you are already quite familiar with. This is an indirection symbol. So this can be used to read data from the same file containing the script. So if you are executing a script, then if that particular script is reading data, it might be reading data from a different file. But if you want the script to read the data from the same file where the script is residing, then you can make use of the file called as here document. So here is a document which can be basically used by a script in order to read the data from same file containing the script. The term here signifies that data is here rather than in the file. So as you can see here, the data is present in the script, not in the file. So you're reading the data directly from the script, not from the file. So any command, so any of the command which takes standard input, that can also make use of here document. It can also take the input from here document. So this is the syntax in order to use your here document. Command followed by the delimiter, document and delimiter. As you can see here I'm using the command. Command is Malik's command. Kumar, so Malik's Kumar. So this is the user to which you are sending the information. So this is the delimiter. Mark is the delimiter. This is the actual document, explore, dream, discover. This is the delimiter. The string mark is delimiter. The shell treats every line delimited by mark as input to the command malix. So every line which is delimited mark. So after every line, if there is a mark, then that will be treated as a data. So Kumar at the other end will see 3 lines of message text with the date inserted by command. The word mark itself doesn't show up. That means, so after encountering these 3 words, there is a word called as mark. So this is the delimiter. So until this delimiter, what are all the content which is present, that will be passed on to Kumar. So this is how you can make use of here document by using this particular symbol. So the malix is a command which is sending the data explore, dream, and discover till it encounters a delimiter called as mark to the user called as Kumar. So this is how your here document will work. So along with that, he will also see the date inserted by this particular malix command. He will see these 3 lines of message. Kumar will see these 3 lines of message, explore, dream, and discover, followed by the date inserted. But the mark word itself won't show up. The mark word is also a part of the document, but now you are using mark as a delimiter. That's why that mark won't be shown for Kumar. Only these 3 words followed by the date will be shown for Kumar. So you can also use your here document. A shell script can be made to work non-interactively by supplying inputs to the here document. Usually, so far what I have seen in the shell script, the user will be providing the input. So it is working interactively by asking for the user to give the input. Suppose if you don't want to give the input, then you can, if the user don't want to give the input, then you can directly give the input from the here document. As you can see here, in this case, you are passing end as the delimiter. So inside end, there are 3 parameters. So this is the data you are passing through to this particular command through this here document. So it will give me the number of lines that will be printed as 3. So that means if user is not needed to, if user is don't want to give the input to the any command, then you can directly give the input from the year document. In this case, you are directly giving the input from the year document with end as the delimiter. So this will be taken as input for this word count. Then it will print the number of lines which is equal to 3. So these are the things you need to remember with respect to year document. So the last topic for this particular chapter and also for this particular model is trap. So once we complete this particular topic, then we can start with some sample shell programs. How we can write some sample shell programs. What are all the concepts we have learned till now that can be implemented in those sample shell programs. First of all, what do you mean by trap? Trap is a signal handler. What is a signal? Signal means, so whenever there is an interrupt which is generated, so that is called as a signal. You will understand better once we go through the topic. Whenever an interrupt key, if you are pressing a control C, a signal gets generated. So that means you are interrupting the execution of a shell script. So if you want to interrupt the execution of a shell script, then you can press control C. So once you press control C, a signal gets generated that is called as SIGINT, SIGINT. That is sent to terminate the shell script. So you're executing the shell script, but if you want to terminate the shell script, then you can press the control C key. Once you press control C, then it will generate a signal called as SIGINT. That signal is meant to terminate the shell script. However, it is not a good practice. For instance, the user may end up leaving lot of temporary file on the disk. So that means when you're executing the shell script, if you terminate the shell script by control C, a signal gets generated. Then even though the shell script gets terminated, there will be lot of temporary files which will still be occupying the memory. So those temporary files needs to be deleted. So that's why it is not a proper approach to terminate the shell script just like as it is. So that's why there comes a concept called as trap. So trap is an entity which is used for handling the signals. So once you are trying to terminate your shell script, a signal gets generated. That signal will be properly handled by your trap. So the trap command can be used to perform the cleanup operation when a script receives the terminate signal. So when you are terminating the script with a signal, then trap will perform the necessary cleanup operation. This command is normally placed at the beginning of the shell script. At the beginning of the shell script, you are going to place your trap command. So this is the syntax for your trap command. Trap followed by the command list and the signal list. The signal list can be any of the 3 signals. It can be any of these 3 signals. The command list contains the commands to be executed when the signals are received by the script. So if any of these 3 signals are received by the script, what are all the commands that needs to be executed will be found in the command list. There are 2 major uses of trap, that is to clean up the temporary files. If you are terminating the shell script, then you need to first clean up the temporary files, then you need to terminate the shell script. The second one, to ignore the signals. You will directly ignore the signals and you will continue the execution of shell script. So these are the 2 common uses of your trap command. Let us see the first use, cleaning up temporary file. The user can remove some files and then exit if someone tries to abort the script from the terminal. In such a case, what will trap will do? You return the command. So you remove temporary.txt, then exit from the shell script. So when this particular signal is received, then what is trap command is doing? Then trap command is trying to remove the file temp.txt. Then you are exiting from the shell. You are cleaning up some temporary files, then you are exiting the shell. Otherwise, you can simply ignore the signals you have received. So in order to simply ignore the signals, you does not need to specify anything. This is the signals you have received. For that signal, you are not doing anything. That means you have ignored the signals as it is. So these are the 2 ways in which you can make use of trap. One is to do some action, that is to do the cleanup of temporary files, then exit from the shell script. The next one is to just ignore the signal you have received for terminating the script. So this is the usage of your trap command. So this completes all the topics with respect to chapter 3 of module 2. So in the remaining of the presentation session, we shall try to cover some of the shell script program. They are very simple programs. Let's try to understand some of the shell script programs in this particular presentation. So we need to write a shell script to accept file name as an argument. The file name is an argument. then we need to display the last modification file if that particular file exists, and a suitable message if that file does not exist. So what is the shell script you are writing? You are accepting file name as an argument. If that file exists, print the last modification time. If that file does not exist, print suitable message. So this is the shell script you are writing. As you can see, this is the path where your shell script is stored. Then you are taking the file name from the user. That file name will be stored in a variable name called as file name. Then you are checking whether that file exists or not. Minus E stands for exist. If exist, this particular file name. If that particular file name is exist, then you go to printing last modification time. The last modification time. Then you are taking that particular file name. For that, you are applying the ls minus l. What will ls minus l command will do? It will give me the file attributes of this particular file. So once the file attributes are obtained, from that you need to obtain the last modification time. For that, the output of ls minus l is passed as input to the cut command. This is pipeline. The output of this particular command is passed as input to the cut command. In cut, you are using a delimiter space. That means all the attributes, all those 8 attributes, will be delimited by space now. From that, you will be obtaining 3 fields, the field 6, 7, and 8. Minus F stands for obtaining those 3 fields. That will give me only the time part. This will give me only the time part, the month, the day, and the time. So this is how actually the printing takes place. So if the file, suppose if the file does not exist, if this becomes false, then you will come to the else part and you will print file does not exist. So this is how you can execute a simple shell script in order to accept a file name and to check whether that file exists. If the file exists, then you need to return the last modification time. So you're obtaining the file attributes from this particular file. From that, the output of that particular ls minus l is given as input to the cut command. There you are performing the delimiting operation with the help of space. Then with the help of minus l option, you're obtaining the 3 different fields that will give me the last modification time. So this is the first shell script we saw. We shall try to see one more program, a simple shell script to accept 2 files. We are accepting 2 file names. Then we are checking the permission of those 2 files, whether they are identical or not. If the permissions are not identical, then we are printing those file permissions. If they are identical, then we are saying that the file permissions are identical. If they are not identical, then we are printing the file permission separately. So this is the path where your shell script is stored. Then you are asking the user to enter 2 file names that will be stored in F1 and F2. So for that particular F1 file name, you are applying the ls minus l. That will give me the file attributes. That file attributes is given as input through pipeline. This is a pipeline. Through pipeline, the file attributes of F1 is given as input to the cut command. There you are obtaining character by character, the second to 10 character, that will give me the permission, because the first character gives me the type of file, whether it is a directory file, ordinary file. The remaining characters 2 to 10 will give me the permission. So that will be stored in file 1. Similarly, the file attributes of F2 is obtained. That will be passed as input to the cut command. Then you are obtaining 2 to 10 characters, which will give me the permission that is assigned to file 2. Then you are checking whether file 1 is equal to file 2, whether the permission are equal. If the permission are same, then you will print common file permission. If the permission are different, then you are printing the respective permission by printing the value of file 1 and file 2 using $. So as you can see, you are entering 2 files, p1.c, p1.c. They are having different file permission. That's why you are printing those 2 files permission. As you can see, both the files are having different file permission. So this is the second shell script. So let us try to see one more program. So this is a program to print numbers, first 10 numbers. So trying to print numbers from 1 to 10. So initially x is assigned to 0. As long as your x value is less than or equal to 10, you are printing the value. Actually, this will print from 0 to 10, not from 1 to 10, because initially your x value is 0. Now it will print 0. Then you are trying to increment expression $x plus 1. Now x becomes 1. X becomes 1. You are going to check the condition 1 less than or equal to 10. Then it will print 1. So similarly, it keeps incrementing till 10. 10 is less than or equal to 10. 10 gets printed. Now 10 plus 1, x becomes 11. Now condition fails, you will come out of 11. So this will print the numbers from 0 to 10. If you want to print from 1 to 10, x should be assigned to 1. Then you can print from 1 to 10. So this is a simple shell script in order to print the numbers from 0 to 10. Let us see one more shell script. This particular shell script is obtaining any number of arguments. It can obtain any number of arguments. Once those number of arguments are obtained, those arguments should be printed in reverse order. That means if the arguments obtained are A, B, C, then it should be printed as C, B, A. Let's see how we can implement this with the help of a shell script. As you can see, $hash. What will $hash give? That will give me the number of arguments, number of positional parameters. There are 3 positional parameters. Therefore, n will contain 3. N will contain 3. As you can see, you are trying to execute program 4.sh by passing 3 parameters. So your $hash will contain 3, thereby n will contain 3. If 3 is less than or equal to 2, 3 is less than or equal to 2. That means if you are entering less than 3 characters, then you are displaying please enter 2 or more arguments. If the number of character entered is less than or equal to 2, less than 2, they are checking only less than or equal to. So it should be LE, just like this one. As you can see, less LE, because it should be less than or equal to 2. This should become LE actually. So if it is less than or equal to 2, so they are entering 2, less than 2, they are checking less than 2. If it is less than 2, then there you are asking to enter at least 2 or more arguments. Why 2 or more? Because for reversing of arguments, you need at least 2 arguments. A, B anta kottare, B anta madbodu. Bari onde argument kottare, ಏನು reverse ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಯಾವ character ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅದೇ character ಬರೀತೀರಾ. That's why at least 2 arguments ಬೇಕು. So less than 2 ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇದ್ರೆ, then you are displaying please enter 2 or more arguments. But in this case, it is 3 arguments. 3 is greater than 2. It will come to the else part. The command line argument in reverse order. Now we are trying to print in reverse order. So n value is 3. 3 not equal to 0. True tane? Olagu barutte. Eval echo. You are trying to print evaluation. This is evaluating this particular expression. So what you are doing, you are obtaining $n. $n ಏನಿದೆ? $n contains 3. $3. 3 ಅಲ್ಲಿ $3 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇದೆ? $3 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ? C ಇದೆ. Why you are using backslash? Because this becomes a wild character. So in order to remove the functionality of wild character, you are escaping it. With the help of backslash. So this will remove the special meaning of wild character. So $n andre it is 3 parameters. So $3 andre C. So C gets printed. Then you decrement n value. Now n becomes 2. 2 is not equal to 0. Again you will come $n. So $2 n2 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So $2 ಅಂತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. $2 ಅಂದ್ರೆ it will give me D. So $2 ಅಂದ್ರೆ n value 2 ಇದೆ. So $n ಅಂದ್ರೆ it will give me 2. So $2 ಅಂದ್ರೆ you print B. You will print B. Now n gets decremented. N becomes 1. Again you will check condition 1 not equal to 0. Again you will come here $n. $n ಅಂದ್ರೆ n is 1 ಈಗ. So $n ಅಂದ್ರೆ 1 ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. So $1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ A, that A gets printed. So this is how you can write a shell script in order to accept any number of arguments and print those arguments in the reverse order. So you are also taking care of a precaution. That means there should be minimum 2 characters entered. If it is less than 2, you are printing please enter 2 arguments. Only if this more equal to or more than 2 arguments, then you are performing the reversal. It will first take $n, which is 3. Then $3 will take C. C gets printed. N gets decremented. Then n value is 2. $n is 2. $2 B gets printed. N becomes 1. $n is 1. So $1 is A. A gets printed. This is how it works. Let us try to see one more program. So we shall try to see this one. Then we shall try to wrap up. remaining we can try to complete in the next presentation. There are some more programs that we can complete in the next presentation session. So a shell script to create a menu. We are trying to create a menu. That menu should contain all this information: list of file, process status, current date, and current users. And the last option is quitting. Okay, na? So echo ಅಂತ create ಮಾಡಿ menu create ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. Slash ಅಂದ್ರೆ new line ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. List of files, process of users, ಸ್ಲಾಶ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಲೈನ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಟುಡೇಸ್ ಡೇಟು, ಯೂಸರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಲೈನ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕ್ವಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ನ್ಯೂ ಲೈನ್. ಎಂಟರ್ ಯುವರ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಏನ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಎಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ ಗೆ ರೀಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾ ಇದೀನಿ. ಸ್ವಿಚ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ. ಕೇಸ್ $choice. ಸೊ 1 2 3 4 5 ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಕೇಸ್ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. 1 ಆದ್ರೆ LS-L ಏನಿದೆ, ಸೊ ಆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ತಗೊಳುತ್ತೆ. LS-L ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಮಿ ದ ಆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಳುತ್ತೆ. LS-L. PS-F ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸಸ್, ಯಾವ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಯೂಸರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. 3 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡೇಟ್, ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಡೇಟ್ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. WH ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಯೂಸರ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಕರೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. 5 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಇಂದ ಎಕ್ಸಿಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈ 5 ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ರು, ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಎನಿ ಅದರ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್, then it will give me as invalid option. So this is how you can create a menu. So as you can see, menu ಈ ತರ create ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. Sorry. So menu ಈ ತರ create ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. As you can see, ಈ ತರ menu create ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ enter your option ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So ನೀವು 3 ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಈಗ choice ಅಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಬಂದು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡಿರುತ್ತೆ. $choice ಅಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Case 3 in 3 1 ಜೊತೆ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, 3 2 ಜೊತೆ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, 3 3 ಜೊತೆ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೇಟ್ ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ನ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಡೇಟ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಗಿವ್ 7 ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 7 ಇರುತ್ತೆ, $choice ಅಲ್ಲಿ 7 ಇರುತ್ತೆ. 1 ಜೊತೆ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, 2 ಜೊತೆ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, 3 ಜೊತೆ 4 ಅಲ್ಲಿ 5 ಜೊತೆ. ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ 7, ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಎನಿ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್. ಅವಾಗ ಇನ್ವಾಲಿಡ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್. So these are some of the sample shell script programs we saw in this particular presentation session. So far in this session, in this presentation session, we covered the here document, then we covered the usage of trap command, then also we covered 5 simple shell programs. So in our next presentation session, we shall try to cover the remaining shell script programs. That will complete the second module. Then we can start up with the module 3. Thank you.